Welcome back to our next exciting episode of Uncivil Discourse, hosted by myself, Lee,
Hi, everybody.
and our extra special commentator, Laura.
Hello.
Special announcements this week. We only have 1 week left to go for skill spends, so our teams better spend them all. Please remember that you don't have to spend your points exactly after week 8, but if you wait until after submission date for game 10, you lose any outstanding points. You don't get to spend any points right before game 1 of the playoffs. Now it's time to show off the best quality lance you have. Remember to play to your game plan, study your opponent's lances, and refresh your memories on how your skills and tech work, as well as how your opponent's skills and tech function. It's your responsibility to monitor your gameplay as well as your opponent's. The games will go faster and are way more enjoyable when you're not second-guessing everything you or your opponent does.
So whip out your best unit, bring it to the field, and polish your skills.
Well, I actually know how I'm going to spend my last 4 points. Brett probably doesn't have a clue, as per normal.
Yep, that's me, clueless.
Clueless, talking about skill spends, we will talk about last week's skill spends.
Starting off, we've got the Wendigo Night Stalkers. Their thug picks up Anticipation and Field Test, with the veteran ability for Black Market for Big Galactic Probe.
Laser Force, the Marauder takes Camouflage, the Stalker takes Veteran for Lost Tech, and the Thug takes Underworld Contacts to get Case 2.
Emperor's Revenge, the Crusader picks up Missile Grouping.
The Black Wakes, the Shootist, picks up Lethargic.
The Collection Agency, their Battle Master takes Gunnery.
Lights Out, the Cicada takes Procrastination, and the Black Knight takes Gunnery.
Neutro Reavers, Dragonfly, uses the veteran ability to pick up Procrastination.
Ansgar's Outlaws, their Elementals, get Long Jumper.
Ward's Warwolves, the Daishi, Engineers to swap out the heavy large lasers for a pair of ERPPCs.
Ghost Legion's Gunslinger takes Target Lock.
Blitzkrieg Jezebels, their Scorpion, gets Personal Vendetta. The Barghest takes Veteran to get Stand and Deliver.
Odin's Chosen, their Marauder 5S picks up Gunnery, and the Shadowhawk follows suit with another Gunnery skill.
The Wolfpack Thunderbolt picks up Mountaineering so he can run faster, farther, harder.
Warthog's Revenge, their Thug gets Veteran to take Mountaineering.
Paxton's Pathfinder, their Marauder takes Target Lock, and Veteran to pick up Camouflage. And the Phoenix Hawk pulls out Long Jumper.
Clan Cobra Chicken, the Wraith, picks up Personal Vendetta.
House Psychotic Weasel, the Albatross gets Gunnery, and his Rifleman takes Forest Fire.
First Alliance Grenadiers, the Penetrator picks up Gunnery.
The Lyran Rangers Champion picks up Gunnery.
Hank's Handies, their Wolverine takes Gunnery. Target Lock on the Gunslinger, and the T-Bolt takes Bribery.
Red Sons of Regulars must be doing one last minute big buy because they banked this week.
Ice Creamers, the Black Hawk Coup, picks up Gunnery.
Elk Riders, following in Red Sun's footsteps. Big spend, they banked this week as well.
Dead Man's Hand, the Hatchman picks up Long Jumper.
4th Torian Protectorate, the Archer, picks up Missile Grouping, and the Marauder picks up Anticipation.
Scions of Amaris, their Templar gets Slippery.
Steelshod Shambol, the Marauder 2 picks up Gunnery.
The League of Robots Bank.
Reston's Roads, Wraith gets Mech Jitsu.
Haven't seen that one this season yet.
Cat's Nightingale Cavalry, their Elementals take Multitasking.
And the Neon Grizzlies Elementals take Cram. The Timberwolf picks up Zeldjabrin and Tactics.
And last but not least, Yogi's Jaegers, their Daishi gets Gunnery.
Now, for everybody's knowledge, League and out there in the wide world, a very small error was caught in one of the skill purchases for House Psychotic's Grand Titan. It just needed a small change in the location for the case too, and a half ton of armor was added to use up for the unneeded case in its left torso. These changes were visible on the scouting reports, and were so small it barely changed the mech's modified BD.
I'm a little surprised to see 3 people banking this week. Whether it's intentional or oops, I missed the deadline, I'm really curious to see what skills they take in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of late in the season to see banking. But we had lots of exciting matches last week. Let's take a look and see how some of them turned out. Game number uno, Clan Cobra Chicken versus Odin's Chosen. Arena 5, the Foothills, host this match. It comes down to the wire, but in the end, it's a 3-2 Odin Chosen win. This is the first fight this week that we see a pilot die to ammo explosion feedback.
Getting the feeling it's not the last. Game number 2, the League of Robots up against the Wolfpack. Alex has been looking forward to this game all week. Arena 12, the Rolling Hills, sees a tough fought back and forth game. The Young Bucks stall on the robots early, killing the Devastator on turn 4. The robots just wouldn't lay down and die, and it ends up being a 3-2 robots win.
Game number 3, Thumper's Revenge versus Lights Out. The Caustic Valley clearly supports the C3I network to function, and this game ends in a 2-0 Lights Out celebration.
Yeah, 0 trees definitely hurt you.
Yeah.
Couldn't add anything to the defensive modifiers. It's whatever you had plus rain.
Game number 4, Ansgar's Outlaws versus the 4th Taurian Protectorate. Arena 15, our very own forward comm center, has the Outlaws laying down the law. The Archer is a star player today, claiming 3 kills between the 2 of them that were on the field. 4-1 Outlaws victory.
Game number 5, we have Yogi's Jaegers versus Laser Force. Lake Lossy hosts this match. Ring around the losey, pocket full of posies. Husha, husha, only one falls down. 1-0 Jaegers win with only the Laser Force's thug going down.
Game number 6, Elk Riders versus the Neon Grizzlies. This match is great! The Grizzlies clearly claim the large lakes as part of their territory today as they chomp down on some elks on a 3-2 win.
Game number 7, the Blackwake versus Cat's Cavalry. Arena 8, the Wooded Hills. C3I versus Clan Tech. Who will be the victor today? It appears that it's the Blood Asp asking for a win, claiming 2 more kills. Cat's Cavalry charge forward to a 3-1 victory and trying to stay at the top of the killer board.
Game number 8, the Blitzkrieg Jezebels versus the Lyran Rangers. The Road in the Hills is a challenging map for a lot of players. A road down the middle with lots of opportunity for block and line of sight. This 11-round game ends with the Jezebels alpha striking, throwing everything it can at the kitchen sink, at the Lyran Rangers Banshee, coring it out for a 1-0 win.
Game number 9, Hank's Handies versus the Dead Man's Hand. Only in the desert can we see a dead man ride high. From what I heard, they were holding horseshoes and clovers for 4-2 victory.
Any peanut gallery comments there, Lee?
I don't even remember the game. It was so inconsequential. No.
Clearly your age is showing you're losing your memory.
No, Darren and I had a blast. But yeah, my dice were not just hot. They were burning hot. Lots of freaking... I just couldn't miss. The Marauder 2's Personal Vendetta made that Wolverine completely pointless. I took its clan large pulse laser off in the first round of fire that actually hit anything. Just took the arm clear off with 2 heavy PPCs. And then on top of that, it was just one hit after the other. He fought back. It ended up being 4-2. It looked for a while to be a 4-0. But in the end, the Dead Man's Hand held the day. And Darren, I look forward to seeing the next time we get a chance to play.
Game number 10, Ghost Legion versus Paxton's Pathfinders. The new River Delta map from the Kickstarter map set is an interesting map to play on. Ghost Legion, 4-2 final score. My team started with 3 of the 4 mechs having wet toes, as one side of the map is only just a couple of places where you don't start with water. The star player of this game is definitely the Wolverine though. Turn 15, critting out 3 ammo bins on the Cyclops to feedback fry the pilot and claim a total of 3 kills that game. That Cyclops was not going down to any other way. It is such a spongy tank. Oh, also, both gunslingers claimed a headshot today with Gauss rifles, proving why they get brought to the battlefield.
Game number 11. The Red Sons of Regulars up against House Psychotic Weasel. The Grasslands see a beating like we have not seen in a very long time. The Red Sons of Regulars come out swinging, downing all 4 Weasel machines without losing any of their own today.
Game number 12, the Collection Agency going up against Riston's Rogues. Let's get busy in the business district. City fights can be a special kind of frustration sometimes, or an extra level of excitement. This game ends in a 2-2 tie with the Grasshopper kicking the Warhammer straight in the torso to core it and bring things back.
Game number 13, the Wendigo Night Stalkers versus Warthog's Revenge on Lunar Bullshit. This has a good game today, as both teams had a lot of fun and were smiling all the way across the room. It's always super exciting when you get to see a Thunderbolt take multiple plasma rifle shots, get an engine crit, and then cook off its own ammo to result in killing the pilot. 4-2 Night Stalkers win.
Game number 14. The Steel Shod Shambles up against the Ice Creamers. The Bloody Basin has some bloodily melted ice cream spill. So many critical hits, they were sprinkled around like ice cream toppings. Oh my god, dude. Turn 11 sees all 4 steel shot pilots taking a nap at the same time. That is a hard thing to come back from. The Creamers managed to cream the Steel Shod Shambles with a stone cold 4-1 victory. I told you he was going to beat this ice cream thing to death all year. This is evidence of it.
Hey, somebody wants to put that as their team name, I am going to make them regret it all year long.
Game number 15, Ward's Warwolves versus the Neutral Reavers. These teams pull one of the new city maps and it's fight on a default arena. Possibly the first and most fatal mistake the Warwolves made that day, as the Reavers reave and plunder, taking a 4-0 win without even saying please.
Game number 16, the Scions of Amaris versus the First Alliance Grenadiers. Our other river map, the Radish River Delta, has a wham bam slam fest with the Scions rocking out another 4-0 victory. Somebody's supposed to remind them that they're supposed to lose some of their mechs eventually at some point in time.
I did. I told him. I took out 3 of them.
Yeah, but you let him take out 3 of yours too.
That's not the point. I showed him he had to lose mechs.
Yeah, but he should be losing at least 1 every game.
I
These
know.
4-0 victories are catapulting him way up.
I know.
Well, that's it for last week's recap, and reminder that we will be having a Christmas potluck coming up after Game 10 on December 15th. So please keep an eye out for a sign-up sheet either on Discord or Facebook, or both. And you can sign up for what you want to bring, and we'll also have gift exchange information as well.
I'm pretty confident we still have lots of plates and cups and cutlery, so it'll be only food that needs to be signed up for. Just as a reminder, we have lots of the other stuff. That's going to take us into the interview of the week. This week, we have Heather interviewing the stable master of Ansgar's Outlaws. Let's see what Cory has to say.
Welcome back to another Battle Babes recording. I'm Battle Babe 1, Heather, and I have one of our amazing participants in the Calgary Battletech League, Cory. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm alive, living the dream, all that stuff.
Yeah. I like what you said earlier about living the dream, not even a nightmare's a dream. I like that.
Yep, even your bad day, it's still a dream.
Yeah.
It's not a good one.
Yeah, I actually had a lady at Walmart today say to me, I'm like, I'm trying to be more positive. She's like, there's no try. I'm like, okay, true. You just do it or you don't.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So how was your game this week?
It was good. I got to play James again. It was on 2 bases, forward base. I don't know, a whole bunch of concrete. I have a lance of second gunmen's on the grassy knoll, and I had to play up close. But it was fun. Ended in a 4-1 for me. There was, I think, 9 head hits about halfway through
Ooh.
in 2 turns. My archer took the head off his marauder. And then the very next turn, he moved his awesome. He ran it up to the top of a level 3 wall, and I hammered him with 70 points.
Oh.
From that archer, I hit him with absolutely everything and took his head off. And then when it was his time to shoot that same turn, he took the head off my archer. So it was a little dual head-on-head action.
Um, hmm. Yeah, we're gonna leave that one. And wow, head on head. That's yeah, I don't think I've heard that phrase through with Battletech before.
Well, it's one of those things like last year with Jeff Painter when he was saying, I have weird inner sphere tactics and some of the things I do seem a little off. I have a whole bunch of different phrases people chuckle at.
Yeah, inner sphere, and I play the odd way too, and everyone's like, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that?" Hey, it won me the game. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's a few times where I do stuff that people are like, "Really?" I'm like, just wait, Even last year, I think I did as good as I did, mainly because I was mercenary and I had my sad cat, and I knew everyone was going to gun for it, so I ran that thing as fast as I could right up the middle, just taking fire. Running around like a chicken with his head cut off, waving his arms, while everybody else got into position, and then my sad cat would explode, and then everything else would kill everything else.
Well, you have to have the distraction. That's quite often what my scorpion is. It takes all the damage, and the rest of the mechs get left alone.
Oh yeah, I remember playing one game, and Jeff was watching me, and there was plenty of spots I could have stopped and put him in trees. He's like, there's cover there. I was like, cover? What's cover? He's like, really? I'm like, I was like, cover means I don't move as far, and they're going to shoot at it. It's going to explode. It's something that, is going to happen. And I think I had 1 game or 2 games last year where that sad cat didn't explode, and it was super shocking.
Well, but if you know that's what's going to happen, might as well use it to your advantage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this year it's not quite like that. The jade turkeys that I'm playing with are not quite so, run up in your face and punch in the neck a bunch of times. It's kind of sit back and lob stuff at you. And by the time you get up to them, if you do, you're so beaten up that you can't really put up too much of a fight.
So you just sit back and let them do all the moving.
A lot of times, yesterday with the forward bases, it was basically 2 bases, level 3 walls. I couldn't really sit back, and I had said to one guy, I'm like, well, I guess we'll see what a Jupiter does up close, see how well it works, up close and personal, because there was no perch to sit him on, nothing to do, so I kind of walked him up into the middle where there was a level 1, but there was a level 0, so I just kind of hunkered him down, took my leg cover, and his entire body got beat to crap, but his legs were good enough that I walked right into a minefield on purpose. And took the hit because I was like, I could take 40 points of damage per leg. This is an LRM 20 minefield. I'm good.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You sound like you have way more knowledge of this stuff than I do, because I'm like, oh, it's a minefield. What do minefields do?
Last year, I used the same trial run with like the specialty ammo. I never used the mines. I used the smoke a whole lot. I used the semi-guided a whole lot. But the mines, you're basically aiming for the hex. If it hits, it puts up a minefield. And if you walk into it, I think on a 7, for an LRM 20 anyway, it sets it off. It's 20 points of damage and 5-point chunks to your legs.
Ooh.
But, a 100-ton assault mech with, 42 armor in each leg that had his legs covered the entire game. It was the only part of his body that wasn't damaged.
If you're able to figure that stuff out and you can maneuver that and figure it out, why not? But I'd be like, I don't know, let me walk around it and not look at all those details. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I probably could have walked right through that, but oh wait, hindsight is 2020.
Well, it wasn't even so much a walk around it because it was the one hex that you could walk through that wasn't a level 3 wall on either side.
Oh.
moving 3-5 and being basically in a little hidey hole.
Yeah.
There was really no running around, so it was kind of I either stay here, lose target lock, and let them run around the corner and not be able to crank them with a whole bunch of stuff, or I run through this because I've got totally undamaged legs and I can take it.
Well, then, yeah, good. You thought it through. I don't know if I could have, but now that I'm aware of that kind of a thing, maybe I will be able to.
Yes, I think mines are useful.
You just sucked it up and did what you had to do then.
Yep, was just hoping that, I didn't fall over. The other kind of bad part about mines is if you drop an LRM 20 mine, it does 20 points of damage, but then that minefield goes from an LRM 20 to an LRM 15. So if you take those 20 points of damage, you got to make a piloting roll. If you fall over and you set it off again, you're taking 15 points of damage all over your whole body rather than just 20 on your leg. And it slowly degrades from a 20 to a 15 to a 10 to a 5 the more times you try and go over it.
So it's a 20, but you can definitely take way more than that for damage.
Oh, yeah. Walk through it and then fall over and set it off both times, you're taking 35 points of damage. And if you try and stand up and don't stand up, fall over again and set it off, you could potentially do a ridiculous amount of damage to yourself.
Okay. It sounds like you have a lot of knowledge and experience of Battletech. So what is your experience? Like, how long have you played? And
so before, kind of joining the league, like this is year 2, I think I had probably played Battletech, the game, maybe half a dozen times.
oh my God.
I've played the role-playing game that's associated with it as well. And there was one where we kind of incorporated the role-playing game into the tabletop game. And just all of the lore that goes with, games like Battletech and like Warhammer 40K. I love games. You could fill a library with just the lore that some dude made up or a bunch of guys made up. Those kind of things have always been, I've always loved that kind of stuff. So, all the history that goes with Battletech and just playing the game, I have yet to have a game where I wasn't laughing my ass off, even the times when I got, stomped, when the dice gods abandoned me and, I'm just getting killed left, right, and center. And all I can do is chuckle. So it's like, my dice have abandoned me. His are on fire. Go ahead, blow me up, roll your dice. I want to see my head explode.
Well, that's it. When I look at some of the games, and I can totally see you're having a really bad game, how hard it can be. And don't get me wrong, I am never going to win the Good Egg Award for the vulgarity and stuff that I throw out when I'm at League, but it's all in good humor. I really ultimately could give two shits.
Oh, yeah. I win or lose, as long as it's a fun game. Like, even losing, sometimes it may not be the most fun. But I just enjoy playing the game and playing with, pretty much everybody I've played hasn't been a jackass about it. They're generally pretty good guys. Some of them, guys like JP or either Jeff, after they've stomped you, they'll be like, okay, so this is where you went wrong and this is what you should have done. And, this is what you should do next time. And this is how you should do it.
Yeah. So you don't have as much experience with Battletech as I thought you did, which is kind of cool considering the knowledge that you have. Do you play any other kind of tabletop games?
Oh, I've played tabletop games for a really long time. Before I had kids, when I still had money.
Right.
And I've still got them, kind of interspersed. Some of them are still, in that pile of unpainted minis.
Mm-hmm.
I've got so many different miniatures that, if my wife actually knew how much I spent on them, I probably wouldn't have a wife.
Yeah, Lee spent most of his money before we got together, so I can't really complain.
Before I met my wife, I was way too poor and dumb. She kind of smartened me up and I saved money and then was like, ooh, I can afford all of this other stuff now. Woohoo! Yeah. And then kids came along and it's like, hey, I wish I had money for stuff.
So true. So true. But you wouldn't change anything with them.
Oh, no. As much as sometimes I'd like to smother my kids, I love them.
I think that's part of
yeah.
being a parent.
Yeah, it's, when they're not yours, you can't stand them.
Yeah, see, I like kids. So I was a teacher. That's not me at all.
Oh, so you're the no, I'm just...
Yep, I'm the reason. Yep. Yeah, I'll take that.
I've had lots of people that I've known throughout my years that are not fans of kids. And I'm like, I had one time that was like, oh, why do you always talk about your kids? I'm like, because my kids are awesome.
Because I love my kids.
I was like, you're just bitter because you don't have any. I'm like, you're lucky. Enjoy your money. I have to enjoy my kids so you can enjoy your money.
Exactly.
My wife and I have replaced ourselves. So, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'd have more money, but at the same time, all the stuff that my kids do that over the years that have just made me laugh my ass off is worth all of the money that I would have saved.
Well, and when they get old enough and they have kids, then you can spoil them rotten, feed them all the sugar and stuff, and be like, okay, bye-bye.
If I live long enough for that, I will totally do that.
Well, okay, I can't guarantee it, but I'd hope you live long enough for that.
Live fast, die middle-aged, leave a moderately fugly-looking corpse. I'm okay with that.
That's, I guess, his goals. Yeah.
You know, if you set the bar low, you're never disappointed.
Very true. Very true. Back to Battletech. Talking about the season, you have 3 more games left. And is there anything that or like any specific game you're looking forward to, or just playing in general?
Playing in general is always good. I'm kind of looking forward to, fight your 4-legged monstrosities. The one thing I've learned from League is, concentrate fire. 4 mechs shooting at one, that mech goes down a whole lot faster than, one-on-one. And sometimes the numbers might be better shooting somebody else. But when you just really want to kill a certain mech,
Oh, absolutely.
sometimes you got to take a little bit higher numbers.
Well, and that's the thing. That's one thing Lee really stands by, and that's what I've learned from him, really, is the concentrated fire. Even if you only get 50% on that one mech, if you have high numbers, it's going to go down, which means then you can concentrate on someone else. And so you can slowly weed them away. And a lot of players don't do that. Well, I can't wait to hear how your game goes against Alex this coming week and see if I can take anything out of that game for mine. Probably not, but you never know.
I don't know. I think it's nice to, play people that you haven't played before. You get different play styles. I think Alex will be fun. I don't know how he plays. I've talked to him a few times. Not quite sure how he plays, but I think it's the second gunman from the grassy knoll. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, saying that, I'm going to say good luck in your next game against Alex, and I will see you in 4 weeks.
Yes, indeed. I look forward to the 4-legged stompy bot fight.
Yeah, and you might get a DFA to me that game. We'll see.
Hey, if you don't, I will.
Sweet, at least one DFA. I like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, thank you for popping on, Cory. Always a pleasure to chat with you, and we will chat with you later.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks. Bye.
See you later.
Yeah, Heather, thank you so much for doing all these interviews. It's great to hear your and Cory's opinions on a lot of things, Battletech and not Battletech. This will lead us into Week 8 matches. And Brett did catch me. He screwed up earlier, so I had to edit that out. Game number 1, we have the Lights Out stable. 2 wins, 5 losses, 0 ties. Going up against the League of Robots. 3 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. Well, I did not expect the Lights Out to win up against Laura. And League of Robots, I did predict that they were going to win. League of Robots, I think now, maybe with this win, kind of has his lance under control and is going to be more confident going into the next 3 games. If he was to win those 3, I think 6 wins would get him into the A-side playoffs. Well, Paul's game plan seems to be come together. He's won 2 in a row. And we'll have to see how that goes from this point forward. 5 games could get him into B if he was to win the next 3 as well. But in this game, I'm pretty sure League of Robots is going to win. Actually, should I go with Paul?
Well, you can't go with Paul because I'm going to go with Paul.
Yeah, I am going to go with Paul because now that I think about it, I think his King Crab is going to very, very, very quickly climb the killer leaderboard. I'm going to say it's going to be Lights Out, and it is going to be a 3-1.
I think it's going to be a 3-2, but definitely also going with Lights Out. Paul's got his game under him. That King Crab is going to just wreck shit. And I think it's going to be the League of Robots trying to hold on for a win and then falling a little bit, getting a tie, and then falling down and falling behind.
One I played last week, one I play as my very last game. But I also know League of Robots banked this week, so they don't actually have a fresh skill.
You can't vote for them both to lose.
I know.
Yeah, you can. It's called a tie.
No, this isn't my tie for the week. I think League of Robots is actually going to take this one. I'll agree with Brett. I think it'll be 3-2 though.
Game number 2, the 4th Taurian Protectorate with 0 wins, 5 losses, and 2 ties, coming up against the Elk Riders with a bye win, 4 losses, and 2 ties. I think this is going to be the 4th Taurian Protectorate's first victory here. I think his archer is going to do some real good work, and his league season experience, as well as potentially running some of the games and whatnot out of Imaginary Wars, is going to just tip the scales. We're going to see 4th Taurian Protectorate 1-0 victory.
I am going to agree with you. 4th Taurian Protectorate should win this game. He's got just experience. Right? A year in League, and then just a lot of Battletech and teaching people how to play Battletech. His rules knowledge is really solid. Elk Riders are learning. They're getting back into it. They're learning how the game's played, as well as learning how League does it. He's going to be okay, right? A lot of players have had weak beginnings of their careers and end up being in, the BAs, right? Playoffs. I see them doing just fine. But this is going to be the 4th Protectorate, but I think it's going to be a 3-1.
I agree with both of you. 4th Taurian Protectorate will be the winner for this one. I think it's going to be a closer game than the 4. Well, I guess Brett's 1-0 win is pretty close. I think it's actually going to be a 3-2.
Yeah, you don't get any closer to my prediction other than a tie.
Yeah, right. Game number 3, the Black Wake, with 2 wins, 5 losses, and 0 ties, going up against me, Thumper's Revenge, with 0 wins, 4 losses, and 3 ties. Well, can't vote against me, so I think I'm definitely going to be the one. 2-1. Thumper's Revenge, 2-1.
How do we let this go? I think it's probably going to be a Black Wake victory. He has a lot of skills behind him. He's got a really good C3 network. He knows how to make it work and work well. I don't think he deserves the 5 L's in that column that he's currently got with his stable this year. But I think it's probably going to be a 3-1 Black Wake victory.
Why did Laura end up with almost every C3 and C3I lance as an opponent?
Because the other option is pulling all of the A-side teams as opponents.
Yeah. Laura, you're completely capable of winning. You have a good lance. You do. I'm not hearing a whole lot of luck on your side, and you've been having a hard time this year with Vulcan. And you've said it too. You said it right. You've had years where you were really tuned in with your lance and things were going really well. This year has not gotten that. Really, 4 losses and 3 ties isn't that bad because you fought 3 people to a standstill.
Yeah, it's 3 non-losses. Like, that's
no,
significant.
We're not making fun of you. It's serious. You've fought a decent game. You just haven't been able to get over that little lip of getting a win. The Black Wake has had a horrible season too. He actually has 1 loss more than you. Devin just hasn't been lucky. Luck is not going his way, even with his technology. And I think Laura's got an okay lance. I'm actually going to go with the tie. I'm going to give you your 4th tie, Laura. I think that's completely reasonable, and I think it's going to be a 2-2. Game number 4, we have Cat's Calvary. 4 wins, 3 losses, 0 ties. Versus the Neon Grizzlies with 4 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie. These are 2 teams that I think actually should have been in the upper 16. Both planners, both really tough lances, both with really unique mechs. Even if it's just a variant, that variant of the Mad Cat for the Neon Grizzlies, that's not normal. What is it, 3 SRM6s or 4 SRM6s?
4.
Yeah, it's just not normal. Like,
Large pulse, 2 medium pulse, 4 SRM6s, and jump jets.
It's a tough mech. It's just different enough that people have a hard time dealing with it. Cat's Calvary has the Blood Asp. Great mech, really hard hitting. Both of these guys, I think, should have been in the top 16. However, there was only 16 spots, and they fell under. I am going to say that in this battle, the Neon Grizzlies are going to knock the Cats down. It's going to be the Neon Grizzlies, and I think it's going to be a 4-3.
I'm going to agree with Lee, actually, like 100% here. Neon Grizzlies 4-3. That Kodiak is just going to be too quick. The Blood Asp, while I 100% will say I have not given the Blood Asp enough credit. I looked at it this season at the beginning preseason, and I was like, Blood Asps are hot garbage. And I think a big chunk of that was because of it being such an ugly miniature for so long. It skipped leg day, it was so top heavy, and I don't remember the original configurations, but I didn't really like them. It's been doing a lot of work for Cat, though. So
It has never died.
yeah, that's going to change this game. Grizzlies are going to take it down and thump it in the woods.
Neon Grizzlies gave me another non-win. And I get to face Matt in 2 weeks.
Beat him for me, because he beat me earlier in the season.
So, they're both strong teams. I almost can't choose.
This could be a 4-4 tie.
It could be, yeah. But I don't think so. I think Cat's gonna win. Cat's Cavalry. But I don't think it's gonna be all 4.
It could also be a 3-3 tie with the elementals bouncing around.
Yeah, right.
I think the biggest thing it'll be whoever's assault mech dies first.
First. Yeah.
And they both hit hard. So
This game could strictly come down to whose dice are hotter. But I think Cat's Cavalry is going to win, and I think it'll only be a 3-2 though.
Game number 5. Blitzkrieg Jezebels with 4 wins, 1 of which is a bye, 2 losses, and a tie. Versus Yogi's Jaggers. 3 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties. This could be a game to sit and watch. I think it's going to be a game where they're going to be running around, chasing each other. It's going to be pretty defensive, and we're going to see whoever loses something first snowball into a 3-1 victory. I'm going to bet on the Blitzkrieg Jezebels taking the win and the Jaggers having the first mech to go down.
Laura, last week you were talking about how Heather likes to chat, and the person she's chatting with slows them down, especially in enjoying her opponent. Will is one of Heather's favorite opponents. They have a blast every time they play. It's going to be a slower game than Heather is used to, which means chatting's going to make it even worse, which benefits both of them for keeping a low-scored game, but it doesn't benefit either of them for actually winning. I would call this another tie, but I'm not going to. I think Yogi's Jaggers is going to win because that day she dropped a mech in a single turn. So it's going to be a 1-0.
I predict there's a couch with Lee's name on it after this podcast comes out. He's right though. This is going to be a match where there is going to be a lot of chatting and laughing. They enjoy playing each other so much. And I think it'll be the Jezebels win. I think it'll be 2-1. Game number 6. Odin's Chosen with 2 wins, 1 of which is a bye, 5 losses, and 0 ties. Going up against Laser Force, which has 3 wins, 3 losses, and a tie. This could be my tie. I think I'm going to go with Laser Force. I think they have the stronger lance, more put together, kind of know what they're doing with it. I don't know if it'll be a high-scoring game, though. I think Laser Force will take it. I think it'll be a 2-0.
I think I'm going to spend my tie on this one. I think we're going to go with a 2-2 tie game.
Well, I'm looking at these 2 lances, and Laser Force definitely seems to be having a better overall season. 3 wins versus 1 actual played win. I think Laser Force is going to win it. I think they started off the season pretty strong, but I think it's only going to be 2-1. Game number 7, we have the Wolfpack with 1 win, 5 losses, 1 tie. They're up against Ansgar's Outlaws. 3 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. I have a feeling Alex is coming into this game starting to get a little bit choked. He's had couple of rough games the past couple of games, so with those losses have probably got him a little bit choked. He's going to be coming in this wanting to win. Ansgar's Outlaws have played a very solid game and can still move up in the standings. I think Wolfpacks are going to pull out a win. They're going to win it 3-2 though.
Well, I definitely like hearing that. Wolfpack is on a not winning streak because his tie was his first game, and then he's got a win in there, and he's had like 3, I think, back-to-back losses. That can be really disheartening for somebody that is a previous champion. Ansgar's Outlaws, it's a little bit up and down and up and down and up and down, and it depends on where the luck is. Solid player, but it's solid player that has really good luck. Solid player that has a little bit bad luck. Solid player that has really good luck. If he can rub elbows with you, Lee, a little bit before game day, I think Wolfpack will pull this out as a 3-2 as well.
I can't choose.
So use your tie.
No, I can't choose. I'm lying. I don't think my boy's going to let me down again. So I think the Wolfpack is going to win. I don't think it's going to be quite as high as 3 mechs. I think it'll be a 2-1.
Game number 8. Carlo and the Lyran Rangers with 0 wins, 6 tough losses, and a tie. Versus Clan Cobra Chickens with 0 wins, 6 losses, and a tie. Their records couldn't be any closer. I'm going to vote on Carlo on this one. Carlo is eager for a win. He's definitely coming out looking for it. And Clan Cobra Chickens is always talking about the basement. So just by pure force of will, one wanting to win and one wanting to not win, Lyran Rangers 2-1.
2 teams fighting for last place, or to not be in last place. They're both having such terrible luck. Like, I know Clan Cobra Chicken started off the season not really wanting to be in the position they are right now, but things kind of went twisted early, and he just hasn't recovered, and he's kind of accepted his fate. Lyran Rangers have been playing very, very hard. Carlos trying so hard to win, and has gotten himself pretty close a few times. The Lyran Rangers are going to win. I think it's going to be more than 2-1, though. I think it's going to be 3-1.
Carlo's last game was so close to a tie until last round Alpha Strike, and it just got robbed out from under him.
Yeah, Carlo's trying so hard this year, and like I've seen some of his dice, they just hop the train and leave town. Hopefully, we can get him a dice bag that has some lucky dice in them.
Get him a red one for Christmas Eve.
You're right. I think we got a couple red ones in there. But I think Lyran Rangers are going to win. But I think it's going to actually be... I think it'll be a 4-2. Game number 9. Paxton's Pathfinders with 3 wins, 4 losses, and 0 ties. Going up against the First Alliance Grenadiers with 4 wins, 3 losses, and 0 ties. While without having a completely identical standings, that's as close as you get. And Paxton's been on a roll. Despite the fact that he's got 4 losses, he's up in the A side. But I think he's going to get another 5th loss and give him the First Alliance a 5th win. And I think it'll be 3-2.
So the last time the First Alliance Grenadiers came up against the Gunslinger, they ended up going down hard, with Hank's Handies showing them why Gauss rifles beat improved heavy Gauss rifles. I think Paxton's Pathfinders has the opportunity here to try and pull that out again, but it's going to be a pretty tough fight for him. I am going to agree with you, Laura. I think it is going to be the First Alliance Grenadiers in a 3-2 victory. But I'd sure like to see Paxton Pathfinders get a 4-4 season going here. He's doing so well this year.
Yeah, I'm in agreement on that, and I think he can do it. Paxton Pathfinders, while the Cyclops for me isn't the greatest mech that's ever walked onto the field, the Gunslinger's really solid. You get that Cyclops out in front of it. You have to deal with it before you get to the 2 Gauss rifles. I'm really not sure how this is going to play out, but I think the Paxton Pathfinders can find a way to win. I think it's going to be a 3-2.
Keep in mind that he picked up camouflage and target lock on the Marauder. So if he can block midfield with the Cyclops long enough, the Gunslinger Marauder can sit on a hill and just pick something apart.
Yeah, it's there's nothing wrong with the Lance. It's just the Cyclops isn't the most powerful 90-tonner you ever see walking across the field. But it's a huge sponge. Very hard to kill.
Such a sponge.
Game number 10, the Steel Shod Shambles. 3 wins, one of which was a bye win. 4 losses, 0 ties, up against our very own Ghost Legion. 5 wins, one of which is a bye win, and 2 ties with 0 losses. You know, I wish I could just hate on you and pick at you like you like to pick on me, Brett. But you've got to really, shush you back in your corner. I like your Lance. I said that before. I love your bully tactic. It's not going to work for you in 3 weeks, but it's going to work for you this week. Steel Shod Shambles have zombies, but you kick their legs off, they can't fight back. Right? What are they going to do? So it's going to be the Ghost Legion, and they are going to win it 4-2. Because you got to lose a couple.
Yeah, it really is going to be a matter of, can I get through his armor before he can take me down? Because while my 3-5-8-5 movers are fast, they're not fast enough to avoid damage coming back at them. So he's got 200-ton zombies. That's a lot of oomph to try and punch through. And like 4 medium lasers on each of my mechs doesn't cut it. But if I can get those kicks in, as you said, if I can get punches in and get head punches and stuff like that, then I definitely still have a shot. I think it's probably going to be a 4-3 Ghost Legion victory.
Sometimes I hate being the first one, and sometimes I hate being the last one. I am going to agree with both of you. I think it'll be a Ghost Legion win, but I don't think he's going to get all 4. I think it'll only be a 3-1.
Game number 11, Ward's Warwolves, with 3 victories, 4 non-victories, and 0 ties, versus Hank's Handies with 5 wins, 2 losses, one of which is to Lee, so not really a loss, that's a lucky thing, and 0 ties. You'll come back in?
Oh, I'll wait till you're done. Just keep reeling it out there.
Shots fired. This one, I am definitely putting money down on Hank's Handies. I cannot vote against my buddy Darren on this one. I think he is going to just take it and feed gauze rifles to the werewolves all day long. It is going to be a 3-1 victory for them.
Look here, you. Yeah. I've beat both these guys, so it's not just luck. However, Ward's Werewolves just made probably one of the best skill spends they've made all season, getting rid of those heavy large lasers for repair of ERBPC. He now has 4 head cappers with a targeting computer assisting, with a range of 23. Hank's Handy's got actually a really amazing lance, but he has to do bully tactics kind of like you did, Brett. Right?
I just shoot it in the face, it'll be good.
Yeah, you kill the Daishi, and Ward's Werewolves, what is he going to do, right? It's just gone. But it's going to be brutal. Hank's Handy is going to have to wade through that accuracy of firepower, plus the 4 large pulse lasers on the other 2 mechs. I think Ward's Werewolves are probably done losing for a little bit. I think they're going to win this one. They're going to win it, and it's going to be a 4-2.
See, I don't always know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I'm just talking shit.
I'm always just talking shit, but I just helped him get that skill spend in, so I'm well aware of what he did, and I'm glad I've already faced him.
Oh, split the difference. Hank's Handies or Ward's Werewolves? Oh, I think it's going to be their first tie at a 3-3. Game number 12. The Ice Screamers with 4 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties, going up against Warthog's Revenge with 3 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie. Both of these teams are strong, but I think the Ice Creamers are going to win. As much as I hate to admit it, but I think it'll be 4-3. Ice Creamers 4-3.
Brandon's had a lot of confidence in his lance this year, and for the past couple of seasons, he's been playing really well, actually. Aaron is top player, so he's got a lot of experience playing against the top upper team, where Brandon's just moving into that realm. Mistakes cost you pretty quickly, and that's cost Brandon a couple of games. But Brandon's got a really good lance lead. He's confident. Ice Cream, he's been on his lance for pretty much the season. I'm going to give Warthog's Revenge the victory in this one. I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-2 closely fought match. And apparently last week, Aaron said that it was a really close 4-1 game that he played. Like, I think he's starting to lose his mind on what a close game is.
I'm also going to agree that it's going to be a Warthog's Revenge victory here, but I think it's going to be 4-2. I think he's going to get up ahead in the early game, and Ice Creamers is trying to play something that is different for them this season. So those things combined are going to lead to Warthog's Revenge victory.
Game number 13, we have the Ristons Rogues, 4 wins, 1 loss, 2 ties, up against the Red Suns Irregulars with 6 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. Well, Gary, one of my favorite players, OG league champion and fellow admin, I've got to say this is probably going to be one of the best games of the week because they're 2 extremely solid teams. Neither of them are clanners either. It's going to be the Red Suns Irregulars though. Ristons Rogues are they're just having fun this year. I don't think they're really riding for desire to play top game. So Red Suns Irregulars are looking to be maybe for their first year being in the number 1 slot going into the playoffs. Red Suns Irregulars are going to win, and it's going to be a 4-2.
I'm also voting for Red Suns Irregulars, but I think it's going to be a 3-2 victory in this case.
I think I'm going to agree to disagree. I'm going to disagree. I think Ristons Rogues is going to win, but I agree with Lee. I think it'll be a 4-2.
Game number 14, Neutra Reavers with 6 wins, 1 loss, and 0 ties, versus the Collection Agency with 3 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties. How do we see this game playing out? It's 100% going to be dependent on the map.
It's going to be 4-something.
Yeah, this could be another, if it's another map where the Collection Agency can actually make really good use of their C3 network and just sort of get in range and then just start hammering on something, it could be a Collection Agency 2-1 victory is what I'm going to go with. But I could also see it being like a 4-0 neutral Reavers victory. But I'm putting my money down on the Collection Agency.
The neutral Reavers bandwagon is just too comfy. The Collection Agency's got a really good landscape. I've been saying this for 2 games now. Cal is fantastic. Good player. He laid the Riston Rogues to a tie. That's an A-side champion. Neutral Reavers haven't won a championship yet in this version of the league. I think this is going to be his year. The Collection Agency is going to make him work for it. It's going to be a 4-3 for the Neutral Reavers.
Gotta break the tie again. I think actually the Collection Agency is gonna win this match. Don't know why, just a gut feeling. But I think I'm gonna agree with Lee. I think it'll be 4-3 for the Collection Agency. Game number 15. We have the Dead Man's Hand with 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, going up against the Wendigos Night Stalkers, who have 4 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. I hate to say it, I think the Wendigo Night Stalkers are going to win. I don't think it'll be blowout. I don't think he's going to wipe Lee off the map. I think it'll be 4-3.
You know what? I've been having fun this season. Playing people I don't get to play very often, or I've never played before. Dead Man's Head, so write it down. I'm gonna win. It's gonna be a matter of by what. Jay's really fun to play against, really fun to watch play. He's got a very straightforward. Last year he was playing the Periphery and had the heavy PPCs, so he knows how to play against them. But I was looking at my Lance, and what you guys have done for me in my skill spans have made it that I only have to drop one weapon to be able to offset a single plasma rifle hit. The second one, if he hits me with 2, I already got to deal with the 20 points of damage with a little bit of heat. I'm going to win, and it's going to be a... I've been pretty deadly. I'm going to say 4-2.
I really actually honestly don't know which way to go with this one. I don't want to call it tie, but I do want to call it tie. So to hell with it. This is going to be a 3-3 tie.
Game number 16. We have the House Psychotic Weasels. 2 wins, 2 ties, 3 losses. They're up against the Scions of Amaris. 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. You know what? I wish I could vote for House Psychotic Weasel this game. He's playing really strong against the upper teams. They're having to work very hard to beat him. Scions of Amaris are on a tear. Like, they're just... I'm looking at the kills for and against on him, and they're just massive difference. I was his biggest challenge. I'm going to say it's going to be Scions of Amaris, and it's going to be a 3-1.
I think he's going to pull out the beat me stick again. I think it's going to be Scions of Amaris with a 4-1. I kind of want to say 4-0, but I think House Psychotic Weasel is going to get something, and it's going to be that 4-1 final.
I'm definitely disagreeing with you guys. I actually think Chris will win. House Psychotic Weasel, but I think it's going to be a 4-2.
In summary and closing for tonight's festivities, I'd like to say good night. It's been great. Looking forward to seeing all you guys in 2 weeks. And this podcast has been so much fun this year.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'm jumping the gun, so it doesn't matter. Haha, here I am talking out of turn. I do appreciate all of our fans, all of our listeners, and everybody that is listening and tuning in, not just our regular players. So thank you very much for getting us our listens. Tell your friends, and tell your enemies.
And just because you jumped the gun on which order you say things doesn't mean people are actually going to listen to you.
Nobody listens to me anyway.
Just another reminder that we are going to be sending out information about the Christmas party potluck and gift exchange, so keep an eye out on Facebook and Discord for it. And don't forget to ring the bell, like, and subscribe.